Lenny, we're good?
Oh, okay. Lenny's-
Good evening, everyone. Please stand for the pledge. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Good evening. Welcome to tonight's town board meeting. It is September 26, 2023. We have no public hearings this evening. Move right on to the supervisor's report. First item is a purchase order, 830-23-18. This is renewal of operational consultant services by DeBlock Environmental Services. DeBlock handles the Pecanico and the Kensico Water District. They've been handling it for many years with the town of Mount Pleasant. They've worked with us on the haloacidic acid issue. So this is a renewal of their contract. It actually ended on June 30th. So the new contract will run from July 1st, 2023 until June 30th, 2024. The total cost is $26,000 per month. I think Lori has always said water is very expensive. and
Water is expensive, yes it is.
Definitely is. So this resolution will move forward with approving their contract.
Move for approval, please.
Motion by Danielle,
Second?
motion second by Lori. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item is authorization to correct a 2023-24 school tax bill for 2 Great Oak Lane, 106.6-2-24. This is the former Girl Scout property in Pleasantville. There was a timing issue with taking it off. It was exempt there prior to it. Now it's no longer exempt, so there was a timing issue with getting it back. So there was a correction that our assessor's office had to make on that. I don't know if there's any numbers here.
Last page on the attachment.
What's that?
On the last page, the attachment.
I don't know why my computer's not opening up everything.
Yeah, it's the last. Does he have it? Okay.
Yeah, the old assessment was $16,940.
Mm-hmm.
The new is $26,667.74. So this resolution will authorize correcting the tax bill.
Move for approval, please.
Motion by Jerry,
Second.
second by Tom. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item is authorization to accept a site restoration bond for decommissioning the battery storage facility located at 65 Broadway, Hawthorne, New York. This is, they're proposing to put a battery storage facility on this property on Broadway. What this is, they will have to provide a bond so that when it's decommissioned after 25 years, this will guarantee that the site will be cleaned and restored to its natural condition. The bond amount is $288,909 to be held by Mount Pleasant Energy Storage 1 LLC as principal and federal insurance company as surety bound to town of Mount Pleasant as obligee. Obligee?
Yes.
Got it?
A lot of big words here tonight for me. That this resolution will authorize restoration bond for Broadway.
Move for approval, please.
Motion by Danielle.
Second. Lori. That's Lori.
Lori?
Yeah,
Oh,
Lori got that one? All right.
she did.
How about that? I thought it was a tie.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item is street closing permits. We have two different ones. Timothy Mall, authorization to close Jefferson Avenue from Sherwood Street to Prospect Avenue on Saturday, October 21st, 2023, from 1 p.m. to 11 p.m. No rain date is requested. And Leah Dorst, authorization to close Shelley Avenue from Locust Street to West Maple Street on Saturday, October 21st, from 12 p.m. until 5 p.m.
So moved.
Motion by Tom,
Second?
second by Jerry. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item is authorization for Justice Court to apply to the Justice Court Assistance Program, JCAP, for grants. They do this on an annual basis. In a lot of cases, the state Justice Court Assistance Program will authorize some funding for, it could be equipment, it could be a computer, printer, whatever it is. I think furniture they got at one time. So this will authorize him to reach out to apply for grants through the JCAP.
Move for approval, please.
Motion by Lori,
Second.
second by Tom. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We have our receiver of taxes report. Let's see if we have any numbers there. It's the total deposits, $481,387.73. Okay. Moving on, we have usually business move forward. Our building inspector, Sal Pinelli, would like to update the town board on where we're at as far as our energy program.
Thank you, Supervisor Fulgenzi, members of the town board. So I'm here tonight to give you an update on our energy upgrade project for Town Hall and the Community Center. So as of today, the lighting project is completed. We've changed all the lighting in this room, the courtroom, the hallway, lobby, the big room, all to LED. So that's been completed. All the lighting on the outside of the building has been changed to LED. The street poles, the police signs, all the lighting outside the edge of the building, under the overhang, they're all LED now. So with that part done, speaking with Supervisor Fulgenzi, we're gonna be, I'm looking into it right now, is to get some numbers on doing the rest of the building to LED, so that we have the whole building done in LED, so we don't just have part of it, and it will save us a whole lot of energy and a whole lot of money, okay? Because right now, the other parts of the building still have T8 and T12 fluorescent light bulbs, okay? And everybody knows fluorescent versus LED. LED is obviously the best way to go. You know, you don't have to replace them. They're 10 years down the road, you might have to replace one, but we're looking at energy savings, energy conservation, and cost. It's going to save the town money, okay, on our lighting bills. So that's what we're looking at now. The next part that's going to be major is the window replacement. I spoke to the contractor this morning. He's on schedule to start a week from tomorrow, next Wednesday, to start replacing the windows in Town Hall, okay? The trailers that you see across the street in the auxiliary parking lot, the windows are all inside the trailers. So he's mobilizing first thing Wednesday morning, and we're going to get started. Just so you know, we're going to start with the south end front part of the building. We're going to work our way around. We're going to come down the supervisor's side here, and then we're going to do the back rear last, okay? The storefronts, which I call storefronts, is all the door entrances, they will follow behind that. So each of the doors, storefront, this major storefront in front here is all getting new. Okay, so for logistics purposes, as I told the contractor, we have a public building. We're open from 8:30 to 4:30, whatever. The plan for this one is he's gonna start after 4:30 on a Friday night and work on a Saturday to finish it and get the whole front done. So it's not gonna interrupt our business during the day at all. The smaller doors, he'll do during the daytime because they're just small entrance doors that we have on the south side of the building, up and down. The rear doors in the back, okay, not a big problem. He can take care of that. But this one here is the major one that I'm concerned about. So we're gonna do that on a Friday night, start at 4:30 when everybody's out, and he'll complete it on Saturday, so we don't disturb our business day, okay? So that starts on a week from tomorrow. The next part is the HVAC. I have a meeting with our contractor tomorrow with John from Recreation. We're gonna meet in the morning. We're going up to the community center. What has to happen first, logistically, that building is getting 6 rooftop units replaced. So what we're doing first is we're gonna remove those off the roof first. And then John has a roofing company coming in to put a new roof down prior to before we install the new units on top. So while that's going on, we'll remove them first. The roofer will come in, do his thing. While that's going on, the new roof is going on, we relocate here and we take the unit off on top of the tower that supplies this courtroom with air conditioning. That new unit goes up, and then the air handler that's in the tower room maintenance, that gets demoed, and that whole new unit gets replaced. Okay, so we're talking probably in the neighborhood of about 4 weeks worth of work. Okay, once the roof is done and we know that's clear, then the company will move back over. They'll bring the crane back over there. They'll set the 6 units on top of the roof over there, and Clean Air will then hook them up, commission them to start operation. So we should be okay for the heating season. Normally, I shut the building down October 15th and I fire the heat up. The main part of the building, the heat's gonna go on. This is gonna be the thing that's gonna stay for the season of October month with no air conditioning, no heat. The rest of the building with the doors open, once that happens, the air will circulate. We should be able to be okay in here, okay? But by the end of October, we should commission this unit, okay? And the big part is the air handler, which you hear the air now, that gets replaced. That will now then start pumping heat over, okay? The unit on the roof is for AC only, okay? So that, we're in the process of gonna start that next week, okay? That's the way it looks for scheduling wise. The generator, our new gas generator, which is gonna supply power for the whole building. Right now, the generator that's in the back is 155 kV. It doesn't supply the whole building. As it stands right now, the 2 chillers downstairs are not on the generator. The boiler is, and 2 of my pumps downstairs that control the water circulation are. Everything, every panel, every mechanical unit will be on the generator now, okay? So the 250 kV generator is due in between the middle of October and the end of October to be delivered here. Once that comes, they will set that. The pad is already poured.
Right.
The conduits already ran from the pad to the building, okay? And the bollards are in, so we're just going to set it. We have to redo a little bit of the gas line, then we can hook that up, and then the electrician actually, within the next 2 weeks, is gonna come in and start running the new conduit from outside into the boiler room. All the switch gear is gonna be in the boiler room now, not outside. Originally, we planned to have it outside. We changed that. We brought it all inside to the boiler room, so it's out of the weather and whatever. That'll all get put inside the boiler room, and then they'll start working on that stuff. So that is all the major part of the generator project. We already have gas outside. Paul from Con Ed was very, thank you to Mr. Fulgenzi, with his contact with Con Ed, we had a valve out there, so we had the gas. So we ran the gas in, and it's sitting out there locked up. ready for a meter. And once we get the gas generator in place and we're all ready to go, Con Ed will come, they'll set the meter, they'll gas us up, and then we're going to do a load test. We have to do a load test on a generator with full load, okay? And then that's all part of the commissioning process. And then once it's done, we put it in service, and it now will supply power to the whole building when we're down.
Okay.
The original plan was we were going to remove the old generator. So Chris Hand from Allstate Electric made a suggestion, which I went to Carl about, and suggested that we leave it in place as a backup. And it was a good reason, because even with a new generator, we all know, there's always could be a part that fails, something happens. And in today's world, you can't get parts today. It takes a long time. So now, if the new generator was out because it's out of service because of a part, we now will have the other generator in place to back up the power into the building. Okay, so it's a redundant system now, so we actually will have two generators, so we won't lose power. The biggest issue is the police department. We have to keep 911 and the police department up and running at all times when the power's out. So we'll have that redundant system by keeping that unit out there. And then the ultimate goal is, when we get permission to get gas into the boiler room, once hopefully this moratorium is over, we will now look at putting high efficiency boilers in and getting rid of the oil, get rid of the oil tank out. Get that, we'll put a small tank for the old generator to stand by outside, and we'll get rid of this 8,000 gallon tank out of the ground. That'll help us with insurance and all that liability, and we'll get rid of it. So we're just waiting for that to happen. Okay. You're going to see a lot of action happening here over the next month in Town Hall here. It's going to be a lot. I'm looking forward to it. The contractors are all ready to go. And I'm looking forward to getting all this done. The biggest thing is these windows. Once these windows are done, which is going to be great because it's going to fall right before the heating season, we are going to save on heat and oil tremendously. That's the biggest. In the audit that we had NYPA do for us in the beginning of this whole thing, the biggest savings was the windows. That's where we were losing our energy, out of the windows. So now, with the new double glass UV tinted windows, when you look at the building, you're going to see dark glass now because it's UV tinted now. Okay? But that's to reflect the sunlight and the UV rays off of the building. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I had a question, please. Could you just go over the savings with respect to that we did this by ourselves independently, and the savings that you just mentioned by bringing everything up to speed?
The estimated savings from the energy audit that we did rounded out to anywhere from 75 to 100,000 a year, based on lighting, windows, heating cost, air conditioning, everything in a whole. That's the audit, what the audit gave us as an estimated cost savings throughout everything, which is huge. Take that times 10 years, it's a lot of money. So we're going to gain a lot of ground on energy savings for this building. Don't forget, this building's 43 years old, 1978. Everything in the building is original. Now the tower's been replaced. That's the other HVAC thing. The new water tower outside for the air conditioning has already been completed and done and in service, okay, for air conditioning season. That worked out fine in May. Everything in a whole is going to save us at least 75 to 100,000. Depending on depending on the cold weather, how hot it is or whatever. But we know internally we're going to be okay with the heat and the air conditioning. It's going to stay in the building instead of going out of the building, which it's doing right now.
The other point was, it's my understanding we're saving $800,000 by doing this independently in-house.
That's correct. The original proposal that I got working with NYPA, we worked round and round and round for months with these guys. I sort of wasted 8 months with them with NYPA. But between them and Labella, their contractor, their engineer, At the end of the job, I told them what the budget was. I said, we need to come within budget. When they gave me the final price, it was like $3.1 million. I says, I'm not doing it. I said, where are you coming up with this money? Well, 12.5% to NIPA and 12.5% to the engineer, over and above the cost of what the project is, added to the price. I said, I'm not doing it, forget it. I told NIPA, I'm not even doing the project anymore. See ya. Hang the phone up. Went right to Carl. I said, we got to do this independently. We got to do it on our own. I already had it in my head where I wanted to go with it. We hired OLA Engineering right out of Hawthorne, who is the best MEP mechanical engineers around. Hired them, and I hired the Mosky architect, Paulette, to do the architecture and work on the specs for the window. They did the plans, they did the specs, they did everything, okay? NIPA, they turned around at the end, they wanted $800,000 just for him and the engineer. We did it for less than $300,000.
Excellent.
In-house. So we saved a lot of money, and we're getting the job done. And I got the best local engineer and architect that the town has. Okay, I've worked with these people for years now, and that's why I chose them. So we saving a lot of money just on that alone. And both of them, both companies are very into. We have update meetings every third month. Now it's been more regularly because we're getting busy now with all the kind of work we're doing. But they're right on board. OLA Engineering's been on top of everything that we're doing here, everything. And I praise them because they are the best out there. Okay, so we did save a lot of money right there alone, just with doing this in-house. I feel personally it's the best way to do it. This sometimes doesn't work when we go to outside people. You know what I'm saying? Better off we try to do it inside. It's a little more work, but we got through it. And thanks to our town clerk, Emily, helping me with the bidding process and getting all the bids in and everything. And we came within budget.
Excellent.
That's the big thing. With the bids, we came within budget. So we're in good shape. We're in very good shape.
So a couple of things.
Yes.
Can you explain what the generator could do, the new generator could do in the agreement with Con Edison?
Oh, yes. Okay, so there's a program that Con Edison has, which I'm going to apply for. What happens is, during the summer months, when we have extreme heat, Con Edison has a program that if we come off the grid, and I use the generator to generate the power for the building, Con Ed pays the town back X amount of dollars per kilowatt hour that we run the generator for. It's a payback program to keep off their grid, helps them overall. So this program that I found out about, I'm going to file an application for this. Okay, so that we can do this. In the summertime, I'll run the building a whole week if we got 90-degree weather. 2 weeks, I don't care. That generator on natural gas can run forever. We're not running off the diesel tank anymore. We're running off of natural gas out of the street.
Okay.
So that's the difference. So now we can run it, power the building with no problem, plenty of energy. I got plenty of storage of KV power out there where the generator is spec'd for more than what I need in case we add, and I'll power the building up and we'll get reimbursed back from Con Edison. That's one major thing. Now, the other thing that we've been working on, and I've told Carl about, is our EV charging systems for our cars and public use and whatever. I filed an application with Con Edison. Actually, I'm sorry. Dan Smith from OLA. I hired OLA to do the application and the paperwork. They're very good at this stuff. We were approved by Con Edison to be a part of their EV charging program, okay? Which means when we get the price from the electrician on the work that we're going to do for this EV charging system, right now, the letter that I got from Con Edison stated that they will pay up to 90% of the cost of the construction to install the EV charging systems, Con Edison. Just for reference, I was told by a Con Ed rep that met us here that in the city of New Rochelle, no, city of Yonkers, they were in the system, they paid city of Yonkers $1.3 million. Con Ed's paid for their EV charging system. So we're in the program, we got accepted, we're moving forward with the program, with all the applications and everything, and because Dave Barker he's involved with me also with this, Dave Barker has now told us what we're gonna need for future EV charging, okay? We've applied this to this Con Ed EV program. So we're talking about putting 8 charging units in the rear of the, under the canopy, in the rear corner here. 8 charging units there. And then he's also got Tesla, which is gonna pay for the charging units that I believe are gonna go in the front where the town, where Carl parks and everybody parks there. Tesla units. The 8 units that we're gonna do with Con Ed are gonna be in the back corner here, under the canopy. They will be for our use and the public's use. Okay, so 90% right now is their estimate that they will pay. It's a no-brainer. I didn't even know about the program until I dug into it a little bit, and when I got a hold of the Con Ed rep, he says, get into it. This, you know, City of Yonkers got 1.3, I'm like, this is a no-brainer, we gotta do this, and I did it. So we're in. So that's gonna take care of a lot of our costs for the EV program that we're gonna be doing. Because we also talked about extending the program to different parts of the town because we want to put EV chargers in the train stations, in the lots. You know, this is going to be more and more popular, these electric car chargers. So we're going to probably be putting them out in the train station areas. That'll all be part of this EV program, an extension of it. Right now, we're working on the 8 that are coming here, and then we already told them what our extended plan was for the rest of the town. You know, community center,
I was going to ask that.
community center,
Yeah.
definitely community center. You know, Hawthorne parking lot, Thornwood parking lot, Valhalla parking lot train station. You know, there could be down in the Valhalla, the little lot across from Sierra's building there, you know, a little public lot there, might be a charger system in there. So we're going to extend this program to include a lot of where the town is. Now, I'm not saying that the police are going to go to electric cars, but if they do, they're going to need places for their cars to charge, and these chargers will be fast charging. In 5 minutes, it charges the car. So if that happens, we will place them out where we need them so that cop car can go there, plug in for 5 minutes, and then go back out into patrol. So it's going to be good. We're going to have a good EV system out in town for sure, and we need to because that's the upcoming thing. Everybody's buying electric vehicles now. So, you know.
One last thing.
Yes, sir.
When you start the window program,
Yes.
each department's going to have to be notified. Are the windows installed from the inside out or from the outside in?
Outside in.
Okay.
There might be somebody on the inside also helping,
All right,
but
are we-
the crews will be there. So each department will notify as we're going along.
Are we doing anything like a curtain type
Yes,
wall?
yes. They have to provide 3 feet back. They have to provide a plastic screen down so that we don't interfere with our personnel,
Okay.
with the workers. So they'll be behind there. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yeah, with respect to the front of the building, you mentioned they're going to start on a Friday and work. How do they make sure the building's secure? I mean, it seems like it's
Whatever-
number of hours to do the front of the building.
Yeah, whatever they don't finish, they will plywood up to secure the building, okay? So it's secured. And then obviously I'm gonna let PD know, you know, I mean, we got cameras in there, but we will secure it with plywood if a part of the glass isn't done yet. And then the following morning, they'll take that off and they'll do it. They tell me it should be able to be done by Saturday afternoon, starting 4:30 Friday. You know, I told him he can stay here all night, I don't care. Nobody's here, you know. You know, but because it's our public access, we have to do this off hours. And, you know, Gary agreed to that from All Steel, so that's how we're gonna handle this door. Should be okay. So we're moving along, got a lot of good things. So now I want to make an announcement. She's looking at me like, what are you saying now?
Who, me
So,
or
no,
Emily?
this is good. It has to do with me personally.
All right,
Oh.
let's hear this.
I'm going to retire. Look- No, I'm only teasing.
You can't say that.
I'm only teasing. I wouldn't, Paul, I wouldn't do that to you. You know me. I wouldn't
No,
do
no,
that
no,
to you.
not during
No.
this, after the project. If
No.
you want to move on, that's fine.
No, and I got everybody else, North 60, John Ferrari said, don't retire, you gotta get me out of the ground, and this time, don't worry about it, I'm not going anywhere. No, a good thing. So, I don't know if you know, but, the association that the building officials of New York State, NISBOC, I've been chapter president for 18 years for the county of Westchester. All of the municipal officials, building officials for the whole county, okay? Well, 2 weeks ago, I went to Buffalo, and every year the state has an annual business meeting conference. So I attended there, and I was elected president of the state of New York.
Wow.
Wow.
Congratulations.
So,
Congratulations.
thank you.
Very nice.
So the good thing about it is, it's not only good representing the town of Mount Pleasant as a building official for the state of New York, but for Westchester County, okay, and the lower part of New York State. What does that do? That would be the question. What does my position do? Well, we are very involved with legislative code issues. We're very close with the code council. So let's take an example. Remember the issue that Senator Harkin brought up about this zoning thing and everything? We, as the state building officials, we have a lobbyist that we hire that works for us in the state. We perform lobbying, and we also go there as representatives of the state of New York and fight against things like that. You understand what I'm saying? Okay, so these are things like that come out, through Albany, that we have to go and either fight against it, and we're fighting against it at the state level for the whole state of New York. So it affects everybody. Things that we don't want in our municipalities. Like, we don't want them to, cut out our zoning. No, absolutely not. All my guys in Westchester said, absolutely not. Thank God that all. But things like that is where I come in and I represent the state, and I go in and I go to Albany and I legislate against stuff like this. The associations, I work very close with the associations of the towns, okay, very close with them, because that's where you guys come in and work with us on the code side of things, okay? And it's, there's a lot to it, but it's good stuff. And it's good stuff that I know I can help, even down here, to the point where Carl says to me, Sal, did you hear about this thing, boom, 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 something that I might have not heard about. And I would say, no, I didn't hear about it, give me the information. And I'll go right to my state people, I'll go to our legislative committee, I'll go to our legislature, hey, my supervisor told me, what's going on with this senator proposing this bill? No, we don't want that. Things like that, that's what it's about. But you have a state representative right here in Mount Pleasant.
Congratulations.
Congratulations,
Thank you.
yep.
I thought you were going to say you had another grandchild, but that's okay.
No, not yet. Not yet.
Thought you made a hole in one.
Yes.
Sal, we know from Carl that Mount Pleasant has been named or designated as a climate-smart community.
Correct.
Can you explain that to the public? Because I think they're probably watching you
Okay,
on
so,
television.
based on my applications to the Westchester Sustainable Westchester, okay, which they work in conjunction with NYSERDA. Okay, NYSERDA is
New York State.
a governmental
New York State,
energy,
yes.
New York State energy agency. I filed paperwork, and I absorbed. They work by a point system. Okay, so I put in, for Mount Pleasant, I put in EV chargers, EV cars, okay, lighting, there was a fourth one. I put in
Solar?
four.
Solar?
Our-
Solar,
Yeah.
solar. So I put in 4 applications. Every single one of them got approved. I gained, by doing those 4 only, I gained like 2,000 points, which the point system works based on how much grant money we get from NYSERDA. Now, in your reference about the community, by doing that, we were named as a green community, automatically by NYSERDA, because of what we did, those 4 items, okay? Also, working with Gibby Craig and our CSC guy, they filed a separate thing, which went, we helped them through our office for these heat pump systems
Yes.
that people have been using. They got accepted into that, so that actually put a 5th one on, but right away, as soon as I got 4 accepted, the email said, I'll send it to you, the email said, Town of Mount Pleasant is now a green community. So it's based on what we apply for to insert into an energy program. So that's how we're doing it. We've been striving with this stuff right along, which is good.
Yes, we have.
Yeah, so a
the
green
supervisor-
community, absolutely, yep, and we're gonna move even more forward with this, with more applications. Because I'm looking to get as much grant money as I can from NYSERDA. And the more I put in, the more points we get, and the more money we get that we can spend on energy savings.
Also, the energy work, all the work that's being done in this building and the community center could be a 5th or 6th item.
That's correct.
Yeah.
That's correct,
Yep.
that's correct. So the whole thing is that we are doing the work.
Yeah.
And that's why
Yeah.
I said, when I applied it, that the work is in progress, and we're doing this work. Right off the bat, they approved us, and they said,
Great.
here you go, you got X amount of points, and you keep building yourself up on those, and the more points I can accumulate, the more money we get for grant money from NYSERDA directly.
We were doing it before it became fashionable.
Yes, yes, we were, yeah. Now it's a big thing, it's huge now, huge. So, really good.
Appreciate
Very good.
really
Yep,
good
yep.
stuff.
Really good stuff.
Thank you. Great news.
Thank
you.
Great news.
Yep,
Thank
no
you.
problem. You bet.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sal.
Okay.
Excellent.
Do we have a question for him? Yes.
Sal.
Me?
Oh,
Oh,
oh, come on up.
Let's sign my name first. So I figure rather ask you directly as opposed to being relayed to you. So my name is Daniel Blaze. Some of you have met me before. Nice to meet everybody again. The EV reimbursement that you're getting from Con Ed, is it, who's supplying the power? Is it Con Ed?
kind of supplies the power.
Okay, so they're basically renting real estate from us and giving the town of Mount Pleasant money, right? I guess is that how the reimbursement works?
No.
I'm just
No.
curious about that.
No, by us getting into the EV program for Con Ed, so the key to that is they pay X amount of dollars for the construction of it.
Okay.
We will own it.
Okay.
Con Ed will give us the power for it because we have to put transformers in and everything. That's all part of the construction first.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then
Okay.
they power us, but they also pay for that. The town might be responsible for about 10%,
Okay.
which is huge because the cost of it's going to be,
Yeah.
it's not going to be cheap to do, but Con Ed's paying for it.
Okay. I'm always worried. No one does anything for free. So.
Well,
No,
they're
but
selling,
there's
they're
still-
selling
But
the
there's-
power.
Right.
Yeah.
It's
So
still their power.
it's still their power. Yeah. Okay.
So-
That's what my question was like. Are we paying for
No,
the
we
power?
actually,
The
no, we
town's
actually
like, okay.
tap right into our system outside here that comes off the pole, and that's what, that powers, Con Ed powers our EV system.
Okay, that was the side question. But my actual question was about the program that you mentioned for Con Ed to run the generator in the summertime during heavier use, right? So the generator is natural gas powered,
Correct.
right? Purchased from Con Ed?
No.
No.
The town purchased it privately under a contract For our energy project, we went out to bid.
So it's a tank that holds natural gas, or is it a
No,
pipeline?
no, we have a pipe from Con Edison,
Okay,
new gas line, and
Okay.
that's gonna feed the generator.
okay. But it's from Con Ed, the gas?
Correct, that's correct.
Supplied by an energy service company or whatever, but supplied by Con Ed?
Correct.
Okay. So, unless I'm missing something here, I'm curious, and I'm assuming you've done the, so I'm coming in after the fact, so I'm assuming you've done the research, but I'm pretty sure electricity kilowatt rate is cheaper than natural gas supply and delivery. So they're asking us to use the generator during the summer month, right, to take the load off the structure here. But I'm hoping that's not gonna cost the town more money, because gas costs more than electricity.
It shouldn't do that.
Okay.
I-
No, that's what I assume
know
you
what you're
look-
saying, I know what you're saying.
Because I equate it to just my bill, and the highest cost on energy is not the supply, it's the delivery. Con Ed is
It's the
charging
delivery.
huge amount of money on the delivery
Yeah,
service.
it-
And
you're
if
correct.
they're supplying us with the gas, they're gonna they're gonna charge us the cost of that. And I changed my gas hot water heater to electric, much cheaper to run, right? That's a small scale, so I have a concern about that. When you mentioned that, I just had a concern about, I'm assuming you did the numbers and stuff.
I did the research and everything.
But
Yes, I did the research
flag
before.
raised in my
I
head.
did. No, I did.
Whenever Con Ed comes into play, I'm like,
Con Ed's not gonna allow the municipality to go into a program or apply for a program
Yeah.
that's gonna end up costing us money.
Okay.
They wanna be able to say, we're gonna save you money.
Yes.
Take yourself off the grid.
Yeah.
Use your generator, it's powering your building up, and it saves us issues out in the field with the grid,
Okay.
okay?
No, cool. I appreciate it. I had that because kind of my bills were so expensive, and there's no reason. It's only going up every year. Anyway, I do have another question, if I can ask it now. It has to do with building department related. But before I do that, I just want to say that the recognitions are awesome for most climate friendly, right? I forget the term you use, but that's awesome, because I'm gonna put solar panels on my roof myself. I haven't had a chance to do it, and I've changed all my lights, whatever it was, 8 years ago, to LED. Saves a ton of money, you don't replace them, so awesome, I appreciate that. It's great to change everything. I know people don't like LED, it makes sense. Just get more expensive LED and the light will be better. But anyway, thank you.
No, you're welcome.
I do have a question though. My question, and it's actually building department related. What is the zoning fee when it comes to a permit? When I apply for a permit, there's a permit fee and a zone fee or zoning fee. What does the zone fee cover? Was that always in place?
Always.
And what is it, always 10 years ago? Okay.
It's been in the code for years.
What does it cover?
They always establish a zoning fee. It's almost like an administration fee,
Okay,
okay? Because, we have to process the paperwork and all that, permitting and all that stuff like that. From my understanding from years ago, it was set up as a zoning fee, because the zoning comes out of my department,
Okay.
at a building, but it's really an administration type fee. That's really what it is.
okay.
So it's,
So what does the permit fee cover?
depends on what you're doing. It's based on the cost of construction.
Okay. Okay. Because to me, it sounds like the same thing. It's splitting.
No.
But
There's inspections that go on where employees have to go and inspect the work and all that, so.
okay. Okay. All right. Related to that, my second question to that is, when you're applying for a permit, right? For for installation of a product, of a heating product, let's say, does the heating product itself cost get put into the construction cost? So if I buy a $2,000 item versus a $4,000 item, then my permit fee is going to be cheaper. But if I buy a $4,000 item, same installation, it's going to be more. Why?
Yeah, it's
The overall
it's the
cost.
Yeah, it's the cost of the labor and material to do the job. That's-
But the labor I get, but why the equipment? If I spend more money on the equipment because I want a better product,
because
why should I have to
the
pay a higher
equipment is
fee?
the thing that needs the permit, not the labor. The equipment needs the permit. Really.
Okay.
That's what it boils down to. The equipment that you're installing needs the permit, and then we need to inspect to make sure it's installed properly.
Okay, fair enough. No, I had that question because I saw it. And then my final question, promise.
It's okay.
That's the fourth final.
That was the first final?
Fourth final.
Oh, see, yeah, okay, you got me.
I'm
Well, we'll go to
counting.
videotape. But anyway, so the true final question that I get back home is how, and maybe building department related or code enforcement or whatever it is, but how does the town ensure that a commercial property is being used appropriately? For example, if somebody puts up paper on a window to hide it, how does the town ensure that that commercial property or that retail property is being used legally and appropriately? Like what happens?
The town would have to be notified they suspect something is being done
Okay.
improperly. Then it's investigated.
Okay, so there's no like, so it's basically the community reporting it out,
Pretty
right?
much,
Saying
yeah.
something's
One
not right.
inspector may be going by,
Okay.
seeing something he doesn't like.
But no, but there's no like act of like, it just depends on like somebody reports or the inspector sees it,
Yeah, I don't
sees
know
something.
how else would you know?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's why I'm asking the question. I'm curious. Okay. All right.
You can't just walk into people's places and say, "What are you
No, you
doing
can't.
here?"
Yeah. But there's signs of stuff, you know, like you wonder, like there's signs when.
They're
people-
very observant in the building department.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good seeing
Thank
you.
you, sir.
Do you have any questions? No?
Seriously.
Good night, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on, Emily, our town clerk's report.
Thank you. Town Clerk's Report, Town Board Meeting, September 26, 2023. Bid opening for installation of 22 water meter pits on Mill River Road. Received and filed a petition to reject the creation of the Pleasant Ridge Water District. Received and filed the Valhalla Fire District preliminary 2024 budget. One planning board resolution. Two planning board resolutions. Steep slope permit for Bellevue Avenue, site plan approval for 2 Broadway. 3 notices of claim. Deborah Everts versus Town of Mount Pleasant. Sonia and Paul Molinari versus Town of Mount Pleasant. Jessica and Michael Ferrugia versus Town of Mount Pleasant. Received and filed 13 certiorari's and 2 small claims.
Item 5 and 6 would be referred to our town attorney.
Just for the public on that petition that was filed about the Pleasant Ridge Water District number 1. We've talked to the Board of Elections today. There's going to have to be a special potential election, I guess you would call it, to consider that permissive referendum issue in December. They're not able to do it for the election in November.
So there'll have to be a special election.
To consider that specific request concerning
Referendum.
for those 70 plus houses.
So it's only those 70 houses, or
Yeah, approximately 70. I
that
think.
would vote in that?
Yeah. So we talked to the Board of Elections today, so we'll report back, but just in case the public was wondering.
So that adds to the whole cost of everything.
Correct.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to our council reports. Councilman Celiano.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. I don't know if my mic's on. My report is the controller's memo. Ladies and gentlemen, the following claims are submitted for town board approval from the category of Justice Court. Carl R. Anderson, $4,050. Precise Translators LLC, $1,990. Maria Delordes Valdez, $425.09, and Maria Ford, $100. The total is $6,565.09. From Receiver of Taxes, Hudson Printing and Graphics, $1,071.49. From the category of Attorney, Bond, Shonick and King, PLLC, Harris Beach, PLLC. The grand total is $11,905.33. From the category Special Consulting Services, Capital Markets Advisors, LLC, Charles A. Magnanaro, and total is $25,315.50. From the category of pool, PVS Mini Bulk Incorporated, Tremont Offset and Company, $5,171.45. From the planning board, Cleary Consultant, $1,000. From the category of general repairs, Peter J. Landy Incorporated, $164,351.60. From the category of highway general capital project, Charles A. Magnanaro, $36,410. From highway garage roof repair, Charles A. Magnanaro, $185,522.50. From Kensico Capital Projects, Charles A. Magnanaro, Deca Tool Equipment Rental Center, $77,809.56. From the category of Mount Pleasant Consolidated Sewer District, $2,000. From Mechanical Water District Number 1, $7,525.22. From the category of Kensico Water, $5,178.65. Trust and Agency Escrow, we got Cleary Consulting, Land Tech Consultants Incorporated, Cleary Consulting, Cleary Consulting, Cleary Consulting, Land Tech Consultants Incorporated, Cleary Consulting, Cleary Consulting, $17,387.50. The grand total is $547,213.89. I move for approval for the controller's memo, please.
Motion by Tom,
Second?
second by Jerry. Tom and Jerry.
All three of us almost went
Yeah,
on that
I
one.
know.
Oh, yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. Mr. Supervisor, the second item is authorization for final lump sum payout for a water department employee. And this is a memo from Brian Keneally, our controller. There's a lump sum payment for Anthony Antanasio. And I move for approval for that lump sum payment.
Motion by Tom,
Second.
second by Danielle. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. And Mr. Supervisor, the third and final resolution is authorization for final lump sum payout for Highway Department employee. And again, from Mr. Brian Keneally, our controller, for Mr. William Clifford. I move for approval for payment, please.
Motion by Tom,
Second.
second by Lori. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
I thank you very much. Have a great evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Zano, I know you have,
I'm off tonight,
Yeah,
but
you have some things you'd
I-
like to announce.
yes, I have two announcements or two reminders for this coming weekend. Two amazing events happening here in Mount Pleasant. October 1st, this Sunday, is Spirit Day up at Westlake High School. That's from 8:30 to 2:30. There will be some football games with the young Mount Pleasant Wildcats, face painting, cheerleading, DJ, raffles. All proceeds go to benefit childhood cancer research. And we also have Mount Pleasant Day, again on Sunday, October 1st, from 1 o'clock to 6 o'clock. This is a free event that takes place on Elwood between Cross and Commerce in Hawthorne. Food, vendors, rides, music. Come on out. They're both amazing events. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Shulman.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. Good evening, fellow board members, Town of Mount Pleasant residents. I have one item this evening from the Recreation and Parks Department. This is from Brittany Nieder, our new Assistant Superintendent of Recreation. This is purchase order 70-23-76, fall foliage inflatables. These are inflatables from Fun Time Amusements, that's the vendor, and it's for the Fall Foliage Festival. This is 3 inflatables and 5 gas-powered generators. Total cost $2,951.25. Move for approval, please.
Motion by Jerry,
Second.
second by Danielle. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. I'm glad Brittany started out with a low price.
Yes. Easing her in, but that's all, folks.
Thank you. Councilwoman Small.
Good evening. My report is from the Highway Department. This is on behalf of David Barker, our Director of Fleet Operations, who is requesting authorization to have the Recreation Department's 1998 Chevy 2500 4x4 pickup truck with the plow put on the town's Facebook Marketplace account for auction. It will be sold to the highest bidder as is because there is no warranty with this truck. Move for approval, please.
Motion by Lori,
Second.
second by Tom. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. The second item is from Richard Benquit, Superintendent of Highways. It is authorization to hire Christopher Zampano as a full-time road maintainer at the Highway Department effective October 2nd, 2023. The salary is per the Teamsters contract. Move for approval, please.
Motion by Lori,
Second.
second by Jerry. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. Have a good evening, everyone.
Thank you. Town Attorney, do we have anything pending?
Nothing today.
Thank you. Save money. Our scheduled meetings, we have a work session scheduled for October 3rd at 7 p.m. Our business session will be October 10th at 7 p.m. What we want to do is, next resolution will be authorization to reschedule our November 7th work session because of Election Day and reschedule it to November 8th. So Resolution 391-23 will authorize us to change the schedule of that work session.
So moved.
Motion by Tom,
Second.
second by Danielle. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. And if there be no further business, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion by Tom,
Second.
second by Jerry. Thank you. All